Hi, Chloe. It's lovely to see you.
Hi, Olivia. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much I was going to say zooming in, but I should say kind of flicking in or something in terms of your sport to have a chat with me today online and to tell me a little bit about your brave action story, which I'm dying to hear. So I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. I'm delighted to chat to you today. I suppose for me, it was the season leading up to our World Cup. So we knew we were going to the World Cup in 2018, and for that season in 2017, 2018, I made the decision to move to Amsterdam and to try and play in the Dutch league, which is the best league in the world for hockey. So it was a big decision, I suppose, not just going to play with a new team and a new coach and new teammates, but living in a new city is also challenging in itself, cultural differences and everything else and finding your feet. So it was a bit tough. And I think the first part of the season leading up to Christmas, say, was very challenging, and I was carrying a niggle as well. I had a small injury and I just wasn't really performing the best that I could perform, I thought, as well. So I was kind of nearly jeopardizing my selection for a World Cup. I was low in confidence, and I was living in a country where I didn't have my support system, like my family and friends, that you're sort of used to having and bouncing off ideas and just ranting to, even if you've had a bad training session or whatever it is. So it was definitely, way out of my comfort zone. And when I came back at Christmas, a lot of people, family and friends and coaches were kind of throwing me the idea, like, should you go the second part of the season? Should you just stay and play with your club in Ireland that the girls and really try and just get back to playing good hockey? And I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm not going to let it defeat me. Like, I know I've had a niggle and I know I can play better. So I just need to rehab this injury properly. And then I can go back in a far better position. And I know myself that I can play in that standard and in that league. So I decided to ignore them, and I went back then after rehabbing properly for the Christmas period. Went back to Amsterdam, played with the club, and we ended up winning the cup over there. So that was also a nice kind of, they hadn't won the cup ever, so that was kind of a nice bonus as well. But yeah, I ended up getting back to probably my fittest ever, playing my best hockey ever, and it all ended up working out really well. But it was definitely a decision, and it was a risk, I suppose, at the time, because, as I said, not only was I was low in confidence, but my selection for World Cup was also sort of in jeopardy, which was the biggest tournament we'd ever qualified for. So it was definitely a moment where I had to really reinforce what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. And I'm really, really glad that I went back, and I learned a lot from playing in that league and being coached by the people over there and playing against the best players in the world as well. So I couldn't have put myself in a better position come May before that World Cup.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's one of the best brave action stories that we've heard to date anyway, because as you say, it's even sometimes really hard to go against the advice that other people are kind of giving you, because they're looking out for your well-being too. But as you say, kind of that grit and determination to just stay with it and go with it, is what really stood to you, and you reaped the benefits the following summer. So listen, thank you so much for tuning in with me today and for sharing your brave action story. Really appreciate it, and I'll chat to you again soon. Okay, take care.
You too.